How did this man, George Miller, become this man, Filthy Frank, become this creature, Pink Guy, become this man, Joji, Heartfelt Singer? Today on What Happened To, we're looking at the bizarre, twisted, occasionally disgusting story of what happened to Filthy Frank.
Yeah. Ravioli, ravioli, what's in the pocket only?
Filthy Frank is a comedy character created by George Miller, who is from Japan and who moved to the United States at the age of 18. Filthy Frank started out on a channel called Disaster Music before George migrated him over to his own bespoke channel after Disaster Music was inundated with copyright problems. The character proved incredibly popular with millions of subscribers and over 1 billion video views. But what is Filthy Frank? Where does one begin? Frank's content was extremely random, #random, XD, rawr, you're so flipping random, oh my god, he got in the bath, this guy's crazy. It was often extremely disgusting, gory, violent, there was sometimes blue language, and sometimes the videos were just people getting so injured, just incredibly injured. Including iDubbbz, who honestly deserves his own video. Make sure to subscribe or follow if you haven't already, because we'll be covering iDubbbz pretty soon, I'm sure. Filthy Frank's content was offensive, but in a sort of heightened way. Like, you know how these days YouTubers are just like fully racist, and they're like, it's satire. And it's like, that's not what satire means, my man. It's not satire if you are just the thing. You have to have some kind of level. And with Frank, you know, it wasn't the most sensitive, don't get me wrong, but there was a sort of genuine satirical edge at times. He sort of vaguely seemed like he was trying to say things sometimes. So what was he trying to do with all this? Well, we might be able to glean, good word, a clue from the official description of the Filthy Frank YouTube channel, which reads, and I quote, "Filthy Frank is the embodiment of everything a person should not be. He is anti-PC, anti-social, and anti-couth. He behaves and reacts excessively to everything, expressly to highlight the ridiculousness of racism, misogyny, legalism, injustice, ignorance, and other social blights. He also sets an example to show how easy it is in the age of social media for any zany material to gain traction/followings by simply sharing unsavory opinions and joking about topics many find offensive. There is no denying that the show is terribly offensive, but this terrible offensiveness is a deliberate and unapologetic parody of the whole social media machine and a reflection of the human microcosm that social media is." So yeah, pretty lofty ambitions for a guy who's just vomiting up fake blood a lot of the time, but at least you can see, you know, at least in theory, he's trying to sort of satirize social media and stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a guy walking over mousetraps, so you gotta take it as it comes. Filthy Frank was also the person who inadvertently created the Harlem Shake viral video challenge, truly one of the most 2010s things that's ever happened. Like, that was honestly a more innocent time. You would never get something like the Harlem Shake in a post-Trump world. We're too deep into the dark timeline now. Part of me was like, should we then cut and like do a Harlem Shake in the video? But aside from the copyright thing, it's like, no one wants to see that. In 2017, he released a statement on Twitter explaining why he would no longer be making his old style of videos, which he had been gradually fading out, saying, "Unfortunately, I no longer enjoy producing that content." He also added that he had, quote, "several serious health concerns, including but not limited to throat tissue damage and neurological conditions that I prefer not to get into." Before ending, "This decision is final. I really can't express just how grateful I am to all of you, nor will I ever forget the relationship that we had together." In a further interview with Billboard, George went into more reasons about why he grew out of Filthy Frank, saying, quote, "It was a humor that started when I was in high school, so naturally as I got older, I got tired of that humor. People's tastes change, people's humor change." He also said that he felt frustrated doing the character, he felt stuck, and that, quote, "as stuck people do, I was indulging in vices and just drinking a lot."
Hey, boss.
I mean, I really can't emphasize enough how popular these characters were. There was even this elaborate lore that was built up, partly by Filthy Frank himself, but also partly by the fans. There was this whole kind of world, this whole kind of cinematic universe developed around these characters, which eventually, when he killed the character, spoiler alert, he kind of wrapped up all that lore in one big sort of epic finale. So this wasn't just like a guy who made some sketches sometimes. This became like a whole thing for people. This became its own little wiki.
It's everything we've ever known in the Omniverse. It will unlock all the secrets. Don't let them have it. It's happening. Here we go. Mama! Mama! Mama!
So at this point in 2017, he's killed Filthy Frank. He doesn't want to do those kinds of videos anymore, but he's always harbored a desire to do music. And he started releasing music, comedy music, under his character Pink Guy. Because at that point, he wanted to do music, but he wasn't sure his audience would accept normal music, like non-comedy music. So he decided to split the difference and do these kind of comedy tracks. The comedy tracks that kind of slapped, and you were like, ha ha ha, but also listen, listen, listen. But eventually he's decided to just start releasing serious tracks under the moniker Joji, and has found great success with his smooth, delicious, organic brand of ballads. Slow Dancing in the Dark, it's a beautiful track. Hard to believe that a man who would once voluntarily put a dog shock collar around his neck and bark, is now making some of the weepiest late night feelings music out there. But I can dig it. So, were you surprised to know that Joji is Filthy Frank? Did you already know? Are you a Filthy Frank fan? Are you a Joji fan? Are you both? Let us know in the comments down below. That's the place that you want to go to be all smug and be like, I actually knew about this 3 years ago. I actually knew that he was Joji before he even became Joji. You know, that's how everyone sounds in YouTube comments and TikTok comments. Like, I actually knew. Well, actually. But I do appreciate every single one of you, and you're a great audience. If you already knew it, then why are you watching a show called What Happened To? Think about it. Make sure to follow or subscribe for more episodes of What Happened To, and also leave suggestions down below for who you'd like us to cover next. Like I said, we'll do iDubbbz, we'll do all kinds of people. I was recently reminded of Wheezy Waiter. Maybe we'll cover him, who knows? Let us know down below, and maybe we'll take your suggestion and turn it magically with the power of Pink Guy into an episode. Till then, I'm Benedict Townsend, and always remember, goodbye.